What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with the first match preview of the season. I don't know if there's going to be 46 of these, but we're going to go with the first one for now. Leeds United versus Cardiff. And yeah, the press conference today, yeah, it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. 16 fit players, as Bob says here. It's just so Leeds United, isn't it? And just trust us to get an injury crisis all in one position. Again, very Leeds United, very Leedsy thing to do. But listen, before I go on, please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and drop your comments below after, and we'll discuss everything in this preview today. It's funny though, with Daniel Farke, I'm still quite optimistic. He just he exudes a confidence out of him, but he still needs help, and he did allude to that in the press conference. And yeah, it's good that he's here, but he still needs the tools to get the job done. But listen, we're going to get into all of that. I will say as well, I mean, I'm grinning because I just watched Darren Farley's Daniel Farke press conference. It's worth checking out, man. It's about 3 minutes long. It's worth checking out. Darren Farley, who's an impressionist. Yeah, he killed it on this one. Deshaun saying he's good vibes. He is, but you can kind of tell that he knows what is necessary. I mean, he even named the positions. I mean, how rare is that you hear that? I mean, he said left back, center back, strong midfielder, creative midfielder, striker. I mean, he literally named everything that we see. So it's now a case of, are the 49ers going to deliver that? We'll only know from now until the end of the window. I'm not judging. I know a lot of you have asked me where we're going to finish and everything else like that. I can't judge it until the end of the transfer window. And I will say that because we do have advantages in other areas where other teams don't. And we're currently seeing Southampton. I mean, they've lost Kaleta Carr, that Polish defender. He's gone. They lost Salisu. He's gone. Livramento is possibly going to Newcastle. We're seeing other clubs lose players as we have as well. But we also have some players that other clubs would kill to have. You know, we've still got Nanto. We've still got Sinistera, Somerville. If we can keep those, it looks a little different at the end of the window. So I'm not going to give my prediction until that transfer window closes, and that's just how I'm gonna do that going forward. Alan here saying Farke's very honest, but obviously frustrated. Yeah, you could sense it, couldn't you, Alan? I sense that as well. You can tell he can't wait to get going and everything else like that. But you can tell that the squad is nowhere near complete as where he wants it to be, and that's good. That's good. I don't want to hear him say, I'm happy with the squad that we've got now going forward. That's the last thing I want to hear. I'm really glad that he said what he had to say. In fact, he said quite a few things that I say. So obviously he's a very intelligent manager. You know, one of them. But it's on the 49ers, as Deshaun here says, to give him the tools necessary, because he can only do so much. As with any manager, they can only do so much. There's only so many coaches that can get the best out of average players. Not everyone can do it, but you still need the tools to get the job done. Why make it harder for yourself when you can get the players in that you need? Yeah, JTEX here, someone talking sense. Amazing. It is. It's nice, isn't it? Really, really nice. But listen, obviously the key news from the press conference. Oh, sorry as well. Thank you to Mr. P for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. And if you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description. Thank you. So Popey here, just summarizing here with the 3 strikers that are out. I mean, if you want to class Bamford as a striker, cool, but he is here still. His hamstring, and he won't be back until after the international break. Rinse and repeat with Patrick Bamford, I'm afraid. And if you think that he's going to be back just after that, then put some lottery numbers on now, because I don't think he's going to be back as soon as that either. I just don't see it. We've seen how long it takes Bamford to recover from injuries. Yeah, it's not happening. Jorginho Rutter, he hopes that he'll be here after the Shrewsbury game. So he'll probably miss these 2 and then hopefully back next weekend, which is good. But Mateo Joseph, man, I feel for Mateo Joseph on this one. Rolled his ankle and he's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. I mean, if you know, Mateo Joseph was probably going into this week in training thinking, this is my time this Sunday to show everybody that we don't need to spend no money on a striker. But now, now, man, he's gone for 3 to 4 weeks, man. It's very, very harsh on the guy. But this is what happens at Leeds, man. And maybe Gary's right, man. Maybe we are cursed. You know, I'm starting to believe you, Gary. But having 3 strikers out, 3 forwards out in one go, I mean, it's just Leeds United, isn't it? Paul Gray here. Bamford hamstring injury, same sentence, becoming tedious. Please get another striker. Yeah, I mean, listen, before Bamford was injured, before Rutter was injured, because I see Rutter more as a forward myself. Even with Mateo Joseph, I still wanted another striker in. It doesn't make. If we could, I would like two. Because at this point in time, I guess we're looking at Sonny Perkins starting, or even Joe Gilhart moving it up front. And for me, that's not the solution I would go with. I've put in the title about we have a solution. With every problem, you have a solution. And for me, at this point in time, we're not going to get anybody in before the game. The registration will be closed by the time anyone could sign for Sunday. I would put Sinistera up front as he's played up there for Colombia. I would put Cine up front if he's fit, and I'll put Nanto out on the left and Somerville on the right. However we're going to line up, we'll see on Sunday, won't we? But for me, I would put Sinistera as our striker up front. I mean, what's everyone else saying in the chat and obviously in the comments after? Deshaun saying who starts up front. But we'll see. We'll see. JTech saying Gelhart. I mean, Gelhart himself has said that he sees himself more as a 10. And I've always said with Gelhart, he works better with two up front. Even when Bamford was playing, he looked better with Bamford next to him. He just works better with a partner. So for me, I would not put Gelhart up front by himself. No way. He doesn't have enough attributes for me to hold up the line, to run the line. He doesn't have the blistering pace to go over the shoulder, over the top. So for me, it's two strikers if you're going to put Gelhart up front. Bob's likes what I'm cooking. Thank you. Lee here saying Somerville at 10, Gelhart striker. Again, I mean, look how many look at what we're having to do. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, 16 fit players. There's going to be square pegs in round hole this Sunday. There just is. But Gelhart up front, Somerville in the unfamiliar 10. I know he can play there, but we see Somerville, his best work is off the wing. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Cleveland, though, saying he agrees, but you'd put Somerville as a 10 again, and Dan James on the right, Willie left wing. Okay, Dan James getting some starter shouts. Hey, Deshaun's going mad right now. Dan James with a starter shout. Okay, I hear that, but yeah, I like my three better. I must admit. Karen here saying Cine and Nanto up front. Yeah. I just feel with Nanto, with his game. I know a lot of people put Nanto up front, but for me, he's better when he's direct at people. He's direct when he's running, taking people out, drifting past players, and I feel like he'd be better suited off the left on that in this instance. But a needs must. We do have a striker crisis. It really is as simple as that. So yeah, no. Leeds East. Nah. We ain't running this back. No. Dead it. Dan James playing up top. No, I can't see that happening, man. I just cannot see this happen again. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not at all. Rebecca G now saying need to see what these new owners are made of. We have a weak squad and two signings is not enough. We needed to see that anyway, Rebecca. As I've said, people have said to me, the two signings we've made are very good, and that is true, but it's not enough. It was nowhere near enough. When we came down, I said that we need to rip this thing apart and start again. And yes, we're doing that with some of the youngsters, even though again Daniel Farke was quick to just dampen the expectations on Archie Gray. He says he doesn't want to overpraise the young players at this stage. He likes to give them chances, but he gives them tough love as well. Again, he just speaks so well for me. I feel really good. You can only get that with a gut feeling, right? You can only get that when you hear someone talking. You go, oh, okay, I like that. And I like what he was saying today. I really do. But he was saying that along with Archie Gray and a few of the other youngsters, not to overpraise them now, even though it's difficult in this era. But he'll give them chances, but he will also give them tough love as well. But even with that, even with the youngsters coming in, and they've been very heavily featured on the posters and everything else like that, we still needed a new core. Like Daniel Farke said today with the positions he said, and I would like some experienced quality heads in there. And I think that's what Daniel Farke is after as well. Deshaun, Deshaun, if Dan James starts up top, I ain't watching it. Well, listen, I am watching it and I will be here. I'm trying to work out the scoreboard thing, and it is absolutely frizzling or frazzling my head. It's absolutely blowing my head apart. So if there's no scoreboard on Sunday, and for future watch-alongs, because there'll be plenty of watch-alongs going on this season, both Leeds United and Premier League and stuff. You're just gonna have to bear with me. I'll keep updating you in the stream, but yeah, it's absolutely it's killing my head. I've even asked somebody experienced who does watch-alongs all the time how they do it, and they do it a different way. And I'm like, oh my god, I've tried to look, and it's all mad. But yeah, listen, I'll be here watching this one. So yeah, join me for that. No Scope Zone saying, I love that about Farke not praising players. We did that too much last season with Aronson and Christensen without them even playing a game. Uh, mm. No, I'm talking more about the managers, not fans. You know, we as fans can say what we want, really, but it's when managers come out. You know, like when Jesse Marsh will come out and say Liam Cooper is the best captain he's ever worked with. I mean, why? Like, what are you trying to get out of that? Especially at the time, I think he was injured as well. Just sometimes, you know, hyperbole isn't necessary all the time, and that's what Daniel Farke has basically said today. You know, he wants everyone to stay on the even keel, and especially the youngsters, which is good. It's really good. Brian here saying Sini's link-up play would work playing up top. Yeah, he's done it for Colombia, Brian. He's been, and he can win a header. It's very underrated, his heading ability. We talk about his footwork all the time. We talk about his movement, his dribbling skills. His heading ability is very, very underrated. And if he's given the chance, if someone can whip that cross in and give him a chance to head it, he will score headed goals. So that's for me why, for me, the solution is Sinistera. And if anyone else agrees, disagrees, leave it in the comments. Eon saying, did you see Christian scream? Oh, with Roma? Yes, I saw the own goal. But I'll be honest with Eon, I don't know how long you've been here. Once players leave Leeds United, for me, I don't care what they do. I don't care if they score 20 goals. I don't care if they score 20 own goals. For me, we need to worry about what's going on in our house, because our house is not in order. I probably would get involved if we was in a better position. I was talking about this the other day to someone who's a Premier League fan, and I would get involved more in these kind of things where I could laugh at former players or things like that. But the thing is, there's not much to laugh at when your club is in the position we're in. We're back in the Championship. We've had 2 dreadful years. We've not got a squad that's good or likable for me overall. So for me, it's hard for me to get involved in these ancillary things when the primary things are not in order. So that's where I am currently anyway. But maybe if we're ripping this league apart, we can come back and have a good laugh. It's like with Frank Lampard last year with Everton. I really wanted to go in on it, but I couldn't because we were a mess. You know what I mean? You can only banter if you're in a position of strength for me. But yeah, I mean, Matt here saying if we bought a striker, we wouldn't have to talk about putting Cine, James, etc. up front. Yeah, I mean, yeah, simple maths, isn't it, Matt? You get what you get what you pay for. If you get the strikers in, if you get the players in that you need, we don't have to talk about putting a right-footed Sam Byram, who is in talks with Leeds United, by the way, as Popey says here, but Daniel Farke did confirm that they are discussing the deal with Sam Byram, so expect him to sign soon. But you wouldn't have to talk about putting these players in different positions. But we're here again, people. This is something that we've been talking about for near 4 years since Bielsa came. You know, when Bielsa came and said that he likes a small squad and made people play in 3 different positions, it kind of made people forget. That it's in football, you generally need 2 players in each position. That is how it's usually done. But nah, you know, here we expect 1 player now, Yelda, oh, he's a centre back, but let's put him at left back. No need to buy a left back. No, man, let's get the players in that we need. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, Amy here. I mean, this is a point that I was thinking of as well. Amy says it good as well. Says it best. KG Rasmus scored a own goal, not good for Roma or any potential people to buy him, and that's correct. Our lone players, we kind of need them to do well. So I know people were laughing and it's ha ha, but I tell you what, if he comes back at the end of the season and there's no buyers and he's had a poor loan season, those same people will be moaning, "Ah, see, he's that rubbish that we can't sell him." You want these guys to actually do well on loan. Yeah, and it's an own goal. Yeah, it's an own goal. Just so no one corrects me in the bloody comments after. I know it's an own goal. Amy just put a typo here. But yeah, we need these loan players to do well so we can sell them on at the end of the season. Because I'm not sure how many of them you want back. I particularly don't want any of them back. So the better they do, the more money we can get for them. So let's cheer them on while they're off. um, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, what other news was there? Let's have a look. Let me just get my notes up here. Yeah, Adams not too far away from returning to team training. Okay. Harrison out a little bit longer. And interesting one, people. Let's talk about Melier. It's Daniel Farke confirmed today that Melier is in charge. He's going to be number one. So Elan Melier will be the starting goalkeeper, which is going to be interesting to see. Let's put it that way, because I know this is a different league. I know that this is a different setting, but for me, it's probably even worse because there's no VAR to knock off when a player will bump into Melier, probably stick him in the net and disguise it well. He's not going to get no protection on this one. So this is going to be very interesting with Elan Melier. He's obviously got the number one jersey for now, but yeah, I mean, personally for me, I'd have stuck with Carl. I would have put in Carl Darlow. I just don't have any confidence in Elan Melier at this point, but it's up to him to prove me wrong. Listen, for everybody that's going to defend some of these players, just remember they have everything to prove to you. You know, before you stick your neck out on the line and defend these guys have been failing and losing for 2 years. So they've got everything to prove to us. We've believed in them for so long. Oh, yeah, we're going to stay up. Oh, yeah, we'll finish 15th, 16th. And they've absolutely flapped it, man. They've given us no reason to believe in them. And that performance against Tottenham at the end of the season encapsulated the 2 years. For me, it's up to these guys to prove us wrong or to prove that they're worthy of staying at Leeds United. And for me, yeah, Melier is starting the game. I mean, how many people are happy with that? Let me know. Brian here, my biggest worry is that I have a feeling Ailing will start this Sunday. Yeah, probably will. Again, it's not ideal, is it? I would prefer Drame to start, but I think Drame is injured. He's out injured at this point, so we'll have to wait and see with that one. But yeah, it's just some of these people just don't inspire me. Quite a few of them, in fact. But this is what we've got right now until we get reinforcements. Lee Marshall saying Melier will probably get beaten by a head a header from 30 yards out. That's what I'm saying. Even in pre-season, that header was savable. You can make every excuse about the defense being poor, which it was. But if Melier is just back on his goal line, he could probably catch that ball. He'd probably catch it, but instead he's being beaten by a looping header from the edge of the box. I just don't have the confidence in him. But yeah, we'll see. Mr. Tom saying, I still have nightmares of the defense parting like the Red Sea for Lucas Moore of all players. Exactly. Lucas Moore hasn't scored a goal like that in how long? And he did that to us in the week before. It was Paqueta for West Ham who set up a goal for whoever scored against us after his move. Just pathetic defending and goalkeeping as well. Gary here saying if Melier is the same as last season, he will struggle as this league is much more physical. Exactly. He hasn't got VAR to stop any of the little nudges he's going to get. And let's be real. I know that the championship isn't as intelligent as the Premier League, but managers will know it. Look, they just have to look at him. He's not the biggest built player in the world. They'll know just get him off balance a little and see if he can get away with it. That would be my tactic. Stick it in the box, put it in high. Leeds aren't the best in the air. Let's see what you can do. But we'll see, won't we? We will see what he's about this Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to the season. I'll be very transparent with you. I'm not looking forward to championship football, not one bit. But I'm looking forward to seeing competitive games again. It's gone quick. It's gone quick. The summer has gone really fast, and I think it's probably the lack of signings that has made it gone a little faster as well. But now I'm looking forward to seeing us back in action. It's always different when it's a competitive game, but as far as the championship goes, yeah, forget this one, man. Forget this one. Yeah, Andrew, I agree. Too many chances for substandard players, 100%. And it's like he was asked about Dallas again. I mean, Dallas, I'd be very surprised if Dallas comes back. For me, Dallas is in the same boat as where I thought Forshaw was, where if he comes back, great. But if not, you're just gonna have to leave him around because at this point, as Farke said, he's good to have around the place, you know. And whenever I hear someone say an injured player is good to have around the place, I go straight to Roy Keane. I can't help it, man. When he's talking about Henderson, what does he do? A good card trick? Does he play songs? You know, all that stuff. Hilarious stuff by Roy Keane. But that's what he is at the moment right now. He's a very highly paid cheerleader at this point. So we'll see with Stuart Dallas, but I'm not counting on him to come back. If he comes back, great. If not, it is what it is. But I'm saying, are you watching tonight's game? I am going to tune into tonight's game. Very interested to see if Southampton will start Ward-Prowse or playing because he's been linked with West Ham. If West Ham can up the money, but that's what I'm saying. There's so much movement going around. Southampton about to lose more players, possibly losing more. We're possibly losing other players too. There's just so much to do. I mean, Leicester as well, Dewsbury Hall linked with a move away. And Dewsbury Hall, for me, is a real good player and would have been one of the better players in the championship. We'll see if he's moving. There's just so much between now and the end of the window. That's why I can't give a prediction at this point in time. Mr. Tom, I know I'm supposed to hate Roy Keane, but his mentality is one of a winner. Mr. Tom, I mean, I'm a Leeds United fan, but I'm a football fan too, and I love winners. And Roy Keane is the embodiment of a winner, and that's why I was talking about before when we was talking about Liam Cooper's quote about if you don't want to be here, do one. It's all well and good saying that, but what are you bringing to the party on the pitch? And Roy Keane was the same. He would get people by the scruff of the neck, lead them. If things weren't going right, he'd shout at them. He was not only was the on pitch leader or off pitch leader, he was doing the stuff on the pitch too. And that's what you've got to admire that because that's what you want for your football club. You know what I mean? It's not jealousy, it's envy. Jealousy is an ugly word. Envy is the correct one because you want your team to be that great and you want a leader to be that great for you. And Roy Keane was one of the best. You can't dispute. If you're disputing it, that's just blind hate. You know what I mean? You have to respect that. And yeah, he always had that winning mentality. Second wasn't good enough for him. Getting to a cup final and losing wasn't good enough for him. We don't have anywhere near that at this football club, by the way. Not even close. We've just got people that, if you don't want to be here, get lost. Doesn't matter if you're rubbish. Doesn't matter if you're good. As long as you want to be here, we'll hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Yeah, exactly, Paul. It's your job. It's his job to say, yeah, I know. That's another one. Classic. Michael here saying, why do other relegated clubs have big assets, 30 million per player, but we don't? Well, Michael, that's a very interesting question, isn't it, Michael? Because we're seeing Tino Livramento going for allegedly around 32 million, going up to 40 with add-ons, which is very interesting to me because as good as he is, and I like Livramento a lot, I think he's going to be a good player, but he was out last season with a big injury. He played 2 games, and he's going for 30 plus million. Let's just call it 40 with add-ons, yeah? And I know he's English, so you got a little bit English tax on there. Cool. But then you get people, and I've got comments in mind here talking about Nanto only being worth 15 to 20. Tell me how that adds up. Tell me how that adds up where Nanto was literally, even though we got relegated in the end, he was one of the most dangerous players in the bottom half. It wasn't until Eze came along once Roy Hodgson was appointed where he was the man in the bottom half of the table, but it was Nanto for the longest time. But yet we should be happy to accept 15 to 20 for Willie Nanto, but Livramento, who's been out for over a year with a dodgy injury, can go to Newcastle for 40. Yeah. I'm not having that. Yeah, they have overpaid. They've definitely overpaid, but it's the selling club, and if they want him that bad, they'll pay it. If they don't think he's worth it, then see you later. You know what I mean? But it's just funny to me. We sometimes overhype the players, and we do that as Leeds United fans. But to say that Nanto should be fetching 15 to 20 it's insulting. It's very insulting. So yeah. Nanto for me, when I'm seeing Livramento, who's half cracked and he's only coming back to full fitness, nah. We're talking, we should be having 30 plus for Nanto. It's not about what you think he's worth, it's about the potential as well. And that's what Newcastle are paying for, because Livramento is not a 40 million pound player. He's not. Anthony Gordon was not a 30 to 40 million pound player. They're hoping that he will be that, but that's what you pay for. That's what we've done with Jorginho Rutter. Deshaun saying Nonto at least 40 in today's climate. Yeah, it's funny because I do believe if Nonto was doing exactly what he did for Leeds at another club, as we always do, you look at it and go, oh man, I wish we had Nonto. But now he's here, it's like you kind of take him for granted. You know, it's one of those, isn't it? But yeah, it is funny with all that stuff. We'll see, won't we? The transfer window's closed. We'll know exactly where we're at. What other key things were there from the press conference before we get into score predictions? Um, yeah, nothing concrete. I'm not going to I'm not going to talk about the Liam Cooper report that's going around from Saudi. I want to wait until there's a few more reputable sources talking about it, just simply because at the moment, listen, it could very well be true, but it just kind of seems to me like it's a Fed report just to back up the whole "if you don't want to be here" f off mantra that he's got, and to say that he turned down Saudi to stay at Leeds. That's my gut feeling right now. So until it's confirmed by other reputable sources, I'm not going to speak on it on this stream. But yeah, I mean, Deshaun, I'm with you, man. I hope it's true too. So I'm kind of hoping that it is true, and then we can really discuss it. Because you know what, we're not going to get under the shackles of some of these players until they go, because some of the fans still believe that these players are actually good football players, and until they go, we're going to be forever under their shackles, man. I can see Liam Cooper being a captain here till he's 50. I genuinely can, with the way that the fans talk about him. But yeah, Robert Purnell. Okay, let's go into score predictions. Yeah, Robert Purnell is talking. Deshaun is saying 2-0. Deshaun saying it's funny because most fans don't want him here. I have noticed, even though people have loved the quote, and I have seen a lot of praise for the quote because it is a very Leeds United quote to say, there's still people that are saying that they wouldn't mind, flying him to Saudi themselves. So I think the tide is turning a little bit in terms of what we need. Maybe the penny has dropped with a few people, but certainly not the majority, I would say. Paul is saying 1-1. Jim is saying 2-1 Leeds. Yeah. Yeah. Put your score predictions in the chat and obviously in the comments after. Alan is saying 3-0, even with no strikers. Matt is going for 1. If just imagine we lose that first game of the season at home. God. Bobs is saying 3-1 Leeds. Okay. Cine and Creswell for Chilled Scott giving us a 2-0 win. Wow. Okay, 1-1, 3-0. Bob saying Melier Howler. Mayor is going for a 3-2 Cardiff. Oh boy. Deshaun. Deshaun's going for a 3-0 Dan James hat trick. Yeah. You know what? I don't know. I was gonna go for a draw, but I think after Daniel Farke's comments, you know what? He's gassed me a little. So I'm gonna go for a narrow Leeds United win. And with Melier starting, I'm gonna have to go with a 2-1 Leeds win. I'm gonna go 2-1 Leeds. And I'll say Sinistera on the double. Let's go with that. Andrew, head or heart, either one, whichever one. Mark is saying 2-1 or 4-0 if we didn't have so many injuries. Wow. And Yeo's going 4-0 lead. Yeah. So yeah, just put them in the comments after. Give me your score predictions there. It's very difficult to talk about lineup because he didn't give anything away, which again, something else that I like as well. I do like that as well. But so we'll talk about that on Sunday. We'll talk about the lineup Sunday. But yeah, if you've got any ideal scenarios that you want to see in the lineup, put it in the comments below. And yeah, I'm just seeing. I'm just going to check and see if there's anything else that was of note in the press conference that I've written down. Yes, Joseph. Yeah, there's nothing else. You know what? We get launching on Sunday. And here we go. Andrew here saying 1-0 Grey goal. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But listen, people, that will be it for the preview. I hope we've got something else to talk about tomorrow in terms of a signing. We'll see. Even though they won't be available Sunday, just having them as a boost would be nice, wouldn't it? But I think that the next stream will be on Sunday. Nicholas here saying KG live streaming the game. Well, I mean, I'll be doing a watch along. Yes, I don't know about live streaming the game. If you mean if there's going to be a picture of the game in the bottom, but yeah, I will be here, man. I will be here. There's going to be much more watch alongs this season, not just for Leeds but for Premier League too. It's important, man. Keep abreast of things that are going on in the Premier League, man, because that was the issue that I had before with podcasts I was listening to. They had no idea what was going on in the Premier League, and it was so telling as well. And that's what you've got to do, man. You got to keep an eye on what's going on in the Prem for when we eventually get back there. Eventually, but yeah, I will be here Sunday for sure. Leeds here saying much easier to listen to Farke talk some sense than Jesse waffling and talking nonsense. Yeah. And Mark saying can't wait for more watch longs. Said yeah. Listen, you know what the good thing is about watch longs as well. I go by from myself. They're not rewatchable, so you can pretty much talk about anything, well, close to anything you want in them, right? So there's a bit more scope to talk about things more than just football. We could talk about anything there, movies, music, other things in general, life things in general. So there's just a bit more scope just to talk about anything in those kind of streams too. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well with you guys. Not gonna lie. And yeah, there's not much. Who rewatches a watch long? Seriously, I don't know anyone that does that. But yeah, listen, people, hit the likes before you leave. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you all Sunday for the game. Let's go Leeds. Peace out.